Okay, question 13. Write an algorithm in pseudocode which allows the user to enter 100 numbers, only allowing numbers between 1 and 10, inclusive. Okay, so looking at this question, we have a loop, and we know how many times this loop's going to run, so we know we can use a for loop for this one. We have input, which is going to be the numbers. They're going to be inside the loop. And we have some processing where we only allow numbers between 1 and 10 inclusive. So we can go ahead and set up our for loop. So for I, assign 1 to 100. And you could use something else for I. I is traditionally used, stands for index, which is just 1 to 100. But it might be, you could say something like for num, assign 1 to 100. It doesn't matter. Okay, right, so inside the loop we're going to ask them to input a number. We need to pop a message on the screen. Let's declare that as well as an integer because we're entering numbers. Let's pop a message on the screen. Please enter a number between 1 and 100. Now, because we need to make sure the number that they've entered is between 1 and 100, like we did in the last question, we're going to need to set up another loop here. Now, because inside the loop we don't know what number they're going to enter, we need to use a while loop, like we did before, that's going to validate the number. So while the number is less than 1, or the number is greater than 100, we're going to need to put, that's just a little graphic showing us what we're doing here. We're basically saying that while it's less than 1, or greater than 10, then we need them to keep entering the number. So this is what's the accepted, and this is what we're actually checking. We're checking it's less than 1, we're checking it's greater than 10. If it is, then we're going to put an error message, please enter the number again, and input the number. We can now end our while loop, and we can do our next I for our for loop. Okay, so we can also do that with the repeat structure. So for I assign 1 to 100, repeat, please enter a number between 1 and 10, input number. We can declare that as an integer, and then we can set our until condition, so until the number is correct. Next I. Now, similarly to what I said on the last one, it would probably be a good idea here, after they've input number, to have something like if number is less than 1 or number is greater than 10, then output number not between 1 and 10, please re-enter. So they just know, otherwise it's just going to keep saying please enter number between 1 and 10, so they might not know they've done something wrong. So it's probably worth putting that in here just to tell them if they do enter an incorrect number. Okay, so again, but the repeat structure is slightly more efficient than in this scenario, perhaps, than using the while loop to do the test. But there's not a great deal in it. Right. Okay, let's stop this one and move on to the next question.